All right. So again, happy Monday, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. We will have more coming on. I am positive of that. It always happens that way. So this is our weekly industry update. We do this every single week so that we can update you on exactly what's happening in the industry. In the four major counties, we look at LA County, Orange County, and Riverside and San Bernardino counties. And we do this every single week again so that we can know what's going on and not have to rely on the news. And we all know, right? The news is there just really to create uh, a bunch of buzz and it's not necessarily spinning it the right way. So we have to be the local economist of choice so that we can actually bring the real information to our buyers and sellers and to our sphere. So first things first, be TCPA compliant. Do not call people that are on the do not call list. You could get in serious trouble for that. They do have fines anywhere from $500 to $1,500. We do, and then people get sued. So we just don't want it, period. Okay. All right. So let's look at LA counties first up. And let me get rid of this. This is annoying. All right. So LA County, we are looking at for sale properties is up 0.8% over last month, right? So we've got 0.8% more for sale properties than we did last month. And then we have 35.4% more for sale properties than we did last year. So overall in LA County, and you're going to see this trend throughout all of the counties, we have more inventory. Okay, this is significantly more inventory than there was last year, 35.4% more. Okay. Sold properties are down 11.7% over last month and down 1.3% as compared to last year. So again, we are seeing a slower market this year. We expected to see higher amount of sales this year. That was the predictions from all of the experts, including Lawrence Yun, who is our National Association of Realtors chief economist. However, because of the interest rates, because of the uncertainty in the government in terms of like the tariffs and things like that, it has negatively impacted our consumer who is looking at it and saying, should I buy now? Should I wait? Sellers saying, should I sell now? Should I wait? It's just caused a lot of uncertainty, and that has penetrated our market to the tune of a slower market. Okay. And not a significantly slower market, but it is a slower market, right? 1.3% is small, but it is slower than it was last year. And last year we had the lowest market that we've had in a decade. Okay. Normally we are at about 6 million transactions for the year nationwide. Last year we were at 4. So that's 2 million transactions less than we've had in the past, like, I believe 10 years. Okay. So that's pretty significant. And here in California, Los Angeles County, we're running about 1.3% lower or less transactions than we did over last year, right? Just keep that in mind. But it is a small amount and we could still rebound. Pendants are up 4.4% over last month and down 1.1% as compared to last year. New listings are down 14.9% over last month. However, we are up 12.9% over last year. So that's a good sign, right? We still have more inventory on the market and we have more new listing inventory on the market, okay, than we did last year. So that is great. That means that, when the buyers are ready, and we'll talk a little bit about that later when we talk about an article that I read. When the buyers are ready to jump into the market, that means that we will have some inventory there for them to buy, right? That is a good thing because we've been complaining for years about the lack of inventory, and there still is. Trust me, we're still in the seller's market. You guys will see that in some areas, but it is much better than it was in the previous years. I mean, it's not even comparable. Okay. Average active price is down 2.6% as compared to last month in the LA County, and down 9.2% over last year. Okay, so sellers in LA County are asking 9.2% less than they did last year. However, they're closing at 7.6% higher than they did last year. The average sold price is up 7.6% over last year. Okay, so that's a good sign for LA County. They're in that, I wouldn't say normal appreciation, because normal appreciation is between 4 to 7%. On average, appreciation is 5%, right? And they're sitting at 7.6%. So they're definitely above the average, right? But again, you got to be hyper local when you're looking at this thing for your buyers and for your sellers. All right, here is our absorption rate, months of inventory. It's up 13.9% over last month. Last month, we were at 3.6 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 4.1 months of inventory. Overall, it's 38.1% higher than it was last year. Last year, we were at 2.9 months of inventory. We're currently at 4 months of inventory. So you guys can see this is a seller's market, 2.9 months of inventory, 0 to 4, a seller's market. Once you hit 4%, or once you hit 4 months of inventory, you're looking at going into that normal market, okay? So 4 to 6 months. So now LA County is starting to knock on the door of a normal market. All righty. Average days on market is up 5.7%. Last month, we were at 35 days on market. Currently, we're at 37 days on market. 20% higher than it was last year. Last year, we were at 30 days on market. Currently, we're at 36 days on market. And you would expect that. As you see more inventory coming on the market, right? Buyers have more choices, more competition. You're going to see properties sit on the market a little bit longer. As inventory increases, days on market gets even longer. Okay, that's the normal way things occur when you start to get more inventory. You, as a listing agent, have to be able to educate your sellers on what the conditions of the market are, and set their proper expectations so that they don't think of the market of the past and think that their house is supposed to just fly off the shelf within a day of being put on the market, right? Because that's what they're used to hearing from their neighbors and from people who, have bought and sold in recent, in years past. They'll be like, oh, you should have multiple offers, and you should be able to get $20,000-$30,000 over your asking price. No, not now. Not in this market that we're in and going into. Okay. All right. So, and I put a caveat on that. That's if interest rates just don't drop off the table or go down and then buyers rush in, right? If that happens, totally different scenario. They will be right. You will have multiple offers more than likely. All right. So, let's go. Sold versus original list price is down 4.1% over last month. Last month, we were sitting at 97% of list price, currently at 93% of list price. And you guys remember, this is comparing July 1st through July 23rd to August 1st through August 23rd of this year, right? These are just a month over month comparison, versus over here where it's a year over year comparison, comparing January to August 23rd, 2024 to August to January 1st through August 23rd, 2025, right? Year over year comparison. All right. In the year over year comparison, sold versus original list price is down 1%. Last year, we were at 98% of list price. Currently, we're at 97% of list price. Again, makes sense too, right? More competition. You're not asking over, you're asking at asking price, or you're offering at asking price, or maybe a little bit below, including some concessions potentially. Okay. Let's see what's in the chat. So this is the market snapshot, correct? Yes, George, this is a market snapshot. Sure is. That's exactly what it is. All right. Let's see. Was that it? All right. So that's it for LA County. All right. Let's hop over to Orange County. So for sale properties is down 1%. All righty, over last month. Okay. And up 36.9% as compared to last year. So we have 36.9% more inventory in Orange County than we did last year on the market. Okay, that is great. Orange County is still in a seller's market, and you guys will see that. And so this number is great because we need the inventory. Okay. Sold properties are up 0.5% over last month or as compared to last month. However, down 2.5% as compared to last year. Alrighty. So again, although we've got more inventory, we're seeing a slower market. Okay. Pendants are down 5.6% as compared to last month and down 1.4% over last year. Again, it's not high numbers, 2.5, 1.4. However, it is lower than it was last year. And as we're getting farther into, we're almost out of the summertime, right? Which is normally the hot time of our market. Hopefully fall will also yield a significant amount of sales. That way we can rebound. All right, new listing inventory is down 28.4% as compared to last month. However, it is up 10.5% over last year. So again, we've got more for sale inventory on the market, and we've got new listings on the market that are all higher. These are all great signs. All right, average active price is down 1.5% as compared to last month and down 9.8% over last year. So in Orange County, sellers have gotten the memo as well, and they're asking 9.8% less than they did last year. However, as you can see, they are still receiving 4.8% higher than they did last year. So although they're asking for less, they're receiving more. Okay. And it's not an astronomical amount more. It is a reasonable amount. 4.8% is about close to the average amount of appreciation year over year. All right, months of inventory, no change over last month. We were sitting at 2.7 months of inventory. We're at 2.7 months of inventory, all right? A 39.9% increase over last year, though. Last year, look at that. We were at 2 months of inventory and still and now we're at 2.8 months of inventory. So as you guys can see, a lot can change, you know, in a county. So LA County is sitting in a normal market at 4 months of inventory. Orange County is still in a seller's market at 2.8 months of inventory. Okay, overall. All right, average days on market is 12.5% higher than it was last month. Last month, we were at 32 days on market. Currently, we're at 36 days on market. And overall, a 34.8% improvement over last year. Last year, we were at 23 days on market. And currently, we are sitting at 31 days on market. Okay. Excuse me, my throat was dry. All right. Sold versus original list price. We are down 1.1% over last month. Last month, we were at 95% of list price. Currently, sellers are receiving 94% of their list price. Now, overall, a 2% decrease over last year. Last year, sellers were receiving 99% of their list price, and currently sellers are receiving 97% of their list price. Now, again, that's still a good amount. Orange County sellers are still happy. They are close to receiving 100% of their list price. And the reality is that as listing agents, we're the ones who have a lot of influence over what the seller will price their property at. We've got to educate our sellers to price ahead of the market, not behind the market. Don't look in your rear view at what the prices used to be. Look at what they are currently at. Look at what things are selling for right now and what your competition is on the market for, right? That's what we've got to be looking at and helping our sellers to be in the market, the now market, right? So that they can price their properties right and receive 100% of their list price. All right. All right. That is it for Orange County. Let's move on to Riverside County. Riverside County. We are looking at for sale properties are down 3.5% as compared to last month. However, it is up 24.4% over last year, which is a great bump in inventory. Solds are down 10.1% over last month and down 4% as compared to last year. Pendants are up 6.3% over last month and down 1.6% as compared to last year. Okay. So again, every county so far, we've got a significant bump in inventory, and we are trailing behind our sales as compared to last year, sales and pendants in all of our counties so far. New listing is down. New listings are down 17% as compared to last month. However, still higher than last year, 5.3% higher than last year. So again, in all our counties, we are seeing more inventory across the board. Average active price is down 1.8% over last month and down 4.2% as compared to last year. So in Riverside County, sellers are asking 4.2% less than they did last year and receiving 1.4% higher than they did last year. Okay, so they are still seeing some level of appreciation, although small, it's still in the green, right? That's the story, right? Is we're still receiving 1.4% of appreciation overall. And again, that's something that you got to look at their neighborhood. Maybe their neighborhood isn't receiving the average sold price has gone down. Maybe it's gone up higher than 1.4%. This is where you're going to have to be hyper local when you're looking at your specific neighborhood for the buyers and for the sellers. All right. All right. Months of inventory has gone up 5.2% as compared to last month. Last month, we were sitting at 3.9 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 4.1 months of inventory. And then overall, a 29.5% increase over last year. Last year, we were sitting at 2.7 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 3.5 months of inventory overall. Now, again, keep in mind, this still says we're in a seller's market at 3.5 months of inventory. We're getting close to a normal market, but we're not there yet. Okay, we are still in a seller's market, but you got to again be hyper local, because what I'm seeing is that in some areas in Riverside and San Bernardino counties, there's not a lot of inventory. There's still a situation where buyers though are not coming out. So even though there's not a lot of inventory, there's not multiple offers on those properties, right? So you still, as a buyer's agent, may have leverage. You still may be able to ask for concessions, right? Don't assume that because you see this number and because we say we're in a seller's market, that means you're going to have to come, above asking and not get concessions. No. Do your due diligence, because you very well may still be able to get, you still may have the leverage. Okay. You've got to talk to the listing agent. Do they have any offers? And go through all those things so that you can know exactly what you need to do for your buyer. All right. Average days on market is up 2.1% over last month. Last month, we were at 48 days on market. Currently, we're at 49 days on market. And then overall, a 21.4% improvement over last year. So last year, we were sitting at 42 days on market. Currently, 51 days on market. Okay. Sold versus original list price has gone down 2.1%. Last month, we were at 96% of list price. Currently, sellers are receiving 94% of their list price. And then overall comparison, sellers were receiving 97% of their list price last year. Currently, a 1% decrease at 96%. All righty. Let's see. Somebody's in the chat. What do we got? How do we use this information in order plan our selling strategies? Good question, George. You use this information in how you're going to consult with your client, right? And how you're going to consult with your client. Your selling strategies are going to be based on what's going on in your local economy, meaning the marketing that you're going to use, the messaging that you're going to use, right? Even the pricing strategy that you're going to use has a lot to do with this information. So if you know that you are in a seller's market, but then you've got to drill down. And if you drill down and you see, oh yes, I'm still in a seller's market, there's not a lot of inventory around us, then you're going to use that to then look at what selling strategy you're going to use, right? How are you going to market? How are you going to advise your client? These are all things that you're going to be looking at. If I know the average days on market is 49 days, I'm not going to be telling my seller to expect that the house is going to come off the market in 1 week, right? I'm going to be setting the expectation of my seller and letting my seller know, okay, the average days on market in the neighborhood is 49 days, which means that we could potentially be on the market for 30 days and then negotiating for an additional week. And I just actually did tell one of my sellers this over the weekend, is that houses aren't flying off the market. So we do need to have a significant marketing time built in. So sellers who want to be gone by the end of the year, we need to be on the market. We need to get that going right now. I'm going to do more marketing because I realize that their buyers are a little bit more hesitant to actually buy right now. So I'm going to do more marketing. I'm going to show more programs. I'm going to show the financing options, right? Even if your seller's willing to carry paper, you might have to do that, get creative. So that's the way you use this information. It's how you're going to use it in order to shape how you're going to advise your client and how you're going to educate your client. Okay, I hope that made sense, you guys. I hope that helped. All right. San Bernardino County, this is the last county of the day. All right, so for sale properties is down 3% as compared to last month and 26.8% over last year. So as you guys can see across the board, we've got more inventory. All right, don't let anybody tell you differently. All right, solds are down 7.2% over last month and down 2.3% as compared to last year. Again, just keep in mind that although it's down, it's not a significant decline, right? It's not like it's 6 or 10% less. No, we're down anywhere between 1.5%, and I think the highest was in Riverside County of being 4% down, or maybe Orange County of being 4% down, right? That's the high. Okay. And we can still rebound depending on how we did this summer and fall. We'll have to see. Okay. After how we end in August, September, October, November, right? We're going to be looking at those months to see how we do. Okay. Normally after November, things get really slow because of, you guessed it, the holidays. All right. All right. Pendants are up 3.9% as compared to last month and down 1.6% over last year. New listing inventory is down 20.9% as compared to last month and up 8.1% over last year. Okay, so across the board, we have got more inventory. We've got more on the market currently. We've got more new listings on the market currently. All right, average active price is down 0.3% as compared to last month, very small, and down 2.7% overall as compared to last year. So sellers in San Bernardino County are asking 2.7% less than they did last year and receiving 4% more than they did last year. Okay. Months of inventory, last month we had 4.4 months of inventory. Currently we're at 4.6 months of inventory, a 4.5% improvement. And then 28.6% increase as compared to last year. Last year we were sitting at 3.5 months of inventory. Currently we're at 4.5 months of inventory, which means ding, 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 we are in a normal market in the San Bernardino County area. Now, you guys know, I'm going to say it again. Be hyper local. Don't just go out there saying, hey, we're in a normal market. Overall, yes. So make sure that you say that. In San Bernardino County, overall, we are in a normal market, right? We've hit that status. However, we've hit those conditions. However, be hyper local and look at your specific neighborhood that either your buyers are buying in or your seller wants to sell, because maybe in their specific area, they still are in the seller's market if they have less than 4 months of inventory. Excuse me. All right. Average days on market, 11.6% higher than it was last month. Last month, it's at 43 months of inventory, or 43 days on the market. And this month, we're at 48 days on the market. A 23.7% increase over last year. Last year, we were at 38 days on market, and currently we are at 47 days on market. Let's see what we got in chat. Where can we get copies of these market snapshots? Absolutely. They are available on our portal. I will put it in the chat. kwsellaleverage.com. That is where you get it. Okay. And it says market updates, and you can get it right there. All right. So let's see. Sold versus original list price is down 3.1% over last month. Last month we were at 97% of list price, currently 94% of list price. Excuse me. And then overall, a 1% decrease. We were at 98% of list price last month. We're currently at 97% of list price. Also, George, you received them as an email. Everybody receives an email every week. Once I'm done, this will get sent out to you. More than likely today, but definitely by tomorrow morning. And they're also posted on the Facebook Hub. So if you guys aren't on the Facebook Hub, make sure that you join. Righty? All right. All right, that is it for our market snapshot. Now let's talk about upcoming events. Now, you guys, this week is a little bit lighter of a week. We've shared with most of you, Ed, unfortunately, he had a mild heart attack and he had to have open heart surgery. Pretty significant, right? And because of that, he could not, he's okay though. Thank God he is okay. He came through like a champ. But of course, as you can imagine, that healing process is going to take a little time. So, so just be patient with us. He's healing up. And we are not going to be having any broker classes on Wednesday. So these two classes are not going to happen. So just so you know, and normally I would take them. However, I'm in leadership training, you guys, this week. So I'm not in the office. So again, so next week we will have classes if I'm teaching them or Franco. I think me and Franco said we were each going to take a day. So I'm going to take one day, he'll take the other day, and we'll be teaching the broker class. We're both brokers. So today we're going to have group coaching. You guys have a treat. You got Adriana Agradano. She's going to be teaching how to prepare and make an offer. So she's going to be talking about how to do that how you get ready for it. All the process you go through with talking with the listing agent, talking with your buyer, running your comps. And so she's going to be going through that with you. And that's going to be on Zoom. So you guys can all just Zoom in. If you're in the office, she'll be on Zoom, but she will be in the, what do you call that room? The large conference room, okay? Conversations in real play will happen tomorrow morning, even if it's myself. We just had a lot of life, you guys, happening in our market center this past week, a couple of weeks. Diana Carbajal, you guys, please pray for her and her family. She lost her mother on Friday. So, I'm sorry, not on Friday, on Thursday. So, no, I'm sorry, it was Friday. It was Friday. She had a massive heart attack on Thursday, and she lost her mom on Friday. So you guys, please pray for her and their family, and Ed as well, if you are praying folk. So we've had a lot of life going on. So just, bear with us this week with the calendar. Because of that, we just had to it's been jumbled. And then I'm out at the leadership conference. So there's just been a lot going on, but we're trying to make it work. And, we're a team. So everybody's trying to be all hands on deck. And we've got you guys. If you guys have any questions, you can always still call me. You can, just text me and I'll step out so that I can help you. Okay. Like I said, all hands on deck. Rosie is going to be doing the Q&A tomorrow, financing fundamentals for realtors. So that's at 11 a.m. in the office tomorrow. That's in place of the Q&A with Ed. Definitely, especially my newbies, you guys should be in on this. This is going to be a good class for you. Because if you guys know anything about our industry, we're expected to know everything. We're expected to know a little bit about a lot. You're expected to know financing. You're expected to know title. You're expected to know what's going on with the home warranty, with the NHD. I mean, your clients are going to ask you all the questions. So you really need to be prepared for that and have some knowledge so that then you can at least be able to understand what their questions are, be able to talk to Rosie, and then come back and translate for your clients. All right, I got a question in the chat or a comment. Thank you, Armando. It's good to see you, Armando, or not see you, but know you're here. All right, then we got tech workshop with Martha. That one will probably be, we're trying to get a substitute on that one as well, because again, we're in Martha's going to be attending the leadership conference with me on Wednesday, so we're going to work that out. Like I said, Ed's classes are canceled. Just want you guys to know that. You guys, Canva is coming out. Our Canva KW partnership is coming out. September 4th is the launch date. I just wanted you guys to know this. So what does that mean? We've got special designs, more updated, more modern, and they will be in Canva. Most of us use Canva already. So this is really cool that now we'll have all of our templates, our Canva templates. If you have a Canva Pro account, you will no longer have to pay for that because we are, as the partnership, we get a free Canva Pro account. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well. And you guys will be able to start that. September 4th is the launch for all of our new content. Yay, yay, yay. I'm excited. Thank you. Good to be able to join the class today. Yes, absolutely, Armando. We got Ignite After Dark. If you guys want to register for this one is all online. Ignite is our flagship new agent training. If you have not taken it as a new agent, join in. It's like 12 sessions, but they don't build on each other necessarily. You could take them, just get in where you fit in. So scan a QR code, 6:30 Pacific on Tuesdays, you register, and then it will send you the invites. All right. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast is fire. You guys should be in on that. Let me see what we got. I'm a Photoshop and Illustrator person. Can you train on Canva? Don't know how to use Canva. Yes, we can. Absolutely, we can. I could do a Canva one-on-one. If you use Illustrator though, and those, then Canva is going to be a no-brainer. It's going to be completely easy because you're using the hard tools. Canva is made for the common person. So it'll be easy for you to use, George. All right. Millionaire Real Estate Agent is fire, you guys. The Willy Wonka of real estate. Turn your sphere into a hyper-local powerhouse. Episode 97 dropped today. Make sure you're listening. This is the good stuff. Feed yourself the good stuff that can help move you forward in your business, give you little nuggets that then you can pick up and take and use in your business. And this is one of them. All right. Don't forget the Airbnb. You can become a referral agent with the Airbnb program, referral program. It's just MREAnotes.com/Airbnb. The One Thing podcast, breaking the busyness addiction. All busyness is not productive. Okay. This is talking about how to keep a visible note open. And where you're asking yourself the question, am I in the busyness trap? Or am I doing my one thing? Right? Sometimes you could just be doing stuff and it's not actually what you should be doing, but you feel like you're busy. This is a trap for myself personally, okay? Because you are doing a lot of different things, but you're not doing the one thing that's actually going to bring you business, which is lead generating, lead follow-up, setting appointments, going on appointments, negotiating contracts. That's our job. If we're not doing those things, everything else could be busyness and we could be falling in that trap. All right, let's go to some news. Mortgage rates fall. So the Fed spoke, the chairman, Jerome Powell, spoke. He suggested that in September, they are going to drop or cut the Fed rate. We are already seeing that interest rates have fallen, okay? So this could potentially mean that we're going to get that bump that we've been talking about in terms of buyers coming back into the market. Get your buyers ready now. Tell them, let's get ready now. So when the interest rates drop, you're not getting ready. You're already there. Okay. Tell them, work on it now. Educate them. If the interest rates drop or continue to drop, what's going to happen? You guys already know what's going to happen. What's going to happen is buyers are going to flood the market. And when they flood the market, prices go up. Okay. You don't want your buyer being in that situation, especially if your buyer is already tight on their pre-approval amounts, right? If prices go up, they may be priced out of the market. They may not get the house that they want. Okay. After years of the NARs, after 1 year, I'm sorry, of the NAR new rules, commissions are up, you guys. So a study by Redfin just showed that commissions actually have gone up. Now, this has been 1 year, because last year was when they instituted the NAR, taking away the buyer agent commission out of the MLS, all the negotiation, all the rules changed, right? No more buyer's agent commission. People thought no buyer's agents won't be able to get paid and so forth. Well, guess what? The study showed buyers' commissions are actually up. So going from, I believe the amount was, let me see if I can get it. The amount was 2.27, going up to 2.37. Okay, so even though it's small, it's still gone up. Okay, and it also showed that sellers continue to pay our commission, that there have been no drop off in sellers actually paying our commission. Okay, or a slight drop off, they said, but not significant at all. Sellers are still paying the commission. Now, what is driving that? They also suggested that what's driving that is why? Is because we have more inventory on the market. So there's more competition. So sellers need a professional. They need us, and they need the buyer's agent. So because they realize, oops, I can't not pay this buyer's agent, because the buyer then could take the buyer to somebody else, right? So now they're paying. So they're motivated to pay. Okay. So that's something that that the study showed. In addition to that, they were talking about, well, what's going to happen as we move into a different market. Right now, when you're in a seller's market, the reality is or they were saying, what happens if the interest rate really goes down and all these buyers come in, and then the sellers aren't as motivated, right, to pay us because there's multiple offers and so forth, right? Well, we've got to see. We don't know what's going to happen. To be honest with you, they predicted that the buyer's agent commission was going to go down, that buyers wouldn't pay, that sellers wouldn't pay. Well, they're wrong. Okay, we have found a way, and I think we have found a way. We've been creative. We've been working with the listing agent, and we've been submitting offers and asking for our commission, and we've been getting it. So the reality is that I don't anticipate that being any different, any market. We have always got to show our worth, prove our worth, and go after our commissions, because we deserve them, because we work extremely hard. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. But this just validates the fact that we are valuable. Sellers see that, buyers see that, and our commissions have remained intact. So this is a great piece of news. So any questions before we go? Because that is, let me see. Do I have anything else? Nope, that was it. That was it, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm here for you, and have an amazing week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
For all the information, and prayers to Diana and Ed.
Thank you so much, Yvette. Appreciate you, my dear.
All right.
You guys have a good one. You're welcome, Armando.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Juan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. You're welcome.